good. And that was what she
Grinding.
said.
That is what she said. We're live now. Come on in, folks. We see you out there. It's 5 in the morning where I'm at. It's what, 4 in the morning? No, it's still 5 in the morning where whiskey is.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
It's 10 o'clock here. I've had 2 coffees already.
It's 10 o'clock there. It's 2 o'clock over on the West Coast. So if you're in California, we're really glad you're here live.
Not tea, just coffee.
Coffee? Oh, no. Coffee. Why do you think I'm so excitable?
Just a little wired. Yeah.
It's strong coffee.
There we go. Best part of waking up. Anyway. I'm trying to fix my Facebook now. Give me just a second.
I'm trying to fix my face.
Go live. We're live. Come on in. I just want to fix your face. Yeah.
Randy is the lizard people king.
Come on.
Yeah.
The whole time.
That's why I'm off camera. I'm a shape-shifting lizard person. Lizard people. Yeah.
Lizard people.
Come on in, folks. We see you out there.
His
chat is live. We're live. We're live this week. We're live from now on for a while, at least until February. If I get
live, but not alive. That's the way we are.
We have coffee. We'll be alive. We'll be wired here before the show's done. It's all good. Come on in, folks.
So if Randy is a lizard king,
good to see you.
Right? Is his goal to usurp the comic book industry as a pillar of American Western?
I think as the Lizard King, it's his job to save the comic book industry.
Funny you should say that, because when I was over the weekend, I attended the Grand Rapids Con and really had a great time. I'm telling you, it was just a blast. And it was one of the best shows, most successful for me that I've done. And I bumped into some Aniverse fans there, and it sold a lot of old comics, and it was just really a good time. But I had an epiphany while I was at the show, and I know I know my priorities on that bucket list we were talking about off camera, and I've got a book I have to do, absolutely have to do it, because I know it'll be a successful book. And that's How to Make $1 Million in Comics.
Start with 2 million.
It's actually 10. It's actually 10, but don't tell anybody.
Right.
But I've got the secret. I do. I was talking to a few people, and that's all. You go online now. It's funny, but I don't know how much you look on the socials, but I don't look at X or Twitter or nothing, because it's just terrible over there, even though I have an account. Over on Facebook, a lot of these so-called professionals are out there arguing about the fate of the industry. We're all going to die.
We're all going to die, yeah.
They're all running around going, we're all going to die. It's like, no, dudes, you're not going to be able to be paid slave labor anymore. Slave wages. Big corporates are probably going to stop printing. The retail system is probably going to collapse, but comics aren't going to die.
No, comics are going nowhere. People want them. If nothing else, what the upsurge of manga has proven is that kids love comics.
Yeah.
If nothing else, you've just got to look at it, go, kids love comics. And don't give me this crap about, manga isn't comics. No, manga isn't American superhero comics. No, they're not. But they're still comics. They're sequential art. They're a physical book that kids pick up. And even though they've been taught to read left to right, they take the time and bother to read right to left.
Yeah.
You know,
just to be entertained. Yep, that's how desperate they are.
Yeah, that is effort. They are exerting effort and paying money. The problem the American comic book industry has is that it's tosh, most of it is rubbish. Okay, and secondly, it's all too expensive.
Yeah,
it's not accessible, which is part of the whole sort of coming away from the newsstand and all the rest of it. It's not accessible. Manga is extremely accessible. Okay, and it's entertaining and it's everything. Stop trying to push every kind of slice of life story through the lens of a superhero. Have the balls to make a slice of life comic like they do in Europe, like they do in Japan. Okay,
Yep.
make those and make the superhero comics. Okay,
Yeah.
just leave it at that and make them entertaining, and you'll find you will get a market back. But just like that, we had that guy from the comic shop come out this week and give his opinion on the industry.
Yeah.
You've got to make it accessible. You've got to market
Yep.
it. You've got to get out there. And much like you were just saying a couple of minutes ago, the big corporates aren't interested.
No,
they're not interested because comics
care.
will never make enough money for massive corporates to be interested. Okay, that all they are is just IP holding cells, and that's it.
Yep.
All right. So what you need is a smaller company that's interested in making hundreds of thousands or maybe millions. Okay, not billions. To be okay, let's make this happen. Outside of that, the only thing that's going to happen is small, artisan books like we make. Filling the void effectively.
Yeah.
But it's true, my point being is that manga was out there. Kids love it. Kids still love comics. People still love stories.
Yeah.
Just make them entertaining.
That's the whole idea.
And if you, it's a new world. So if you don't have the cojones to go out there and make it for yourself, then because you want to rely on a big corporate to pay your bills, which they don't anyway. Okay, yeah. And you are completely, throwawayable, as it were. You're of no use to them at all. Okay, if you want that scenario, you're done. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
The only scenario left for you is to do it yourself. That's what we're here doing. We don't get I don't know what the views are on this. 10s, 20s. Sometimes I get like 30 views on this, but you just got to reach out and show people just the great things that used to be, like this Gil Kane Savage book here.
Yeah.
Okay, and just show people just how good comics could be again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not suggesting that we'll hit the heights of these of the geniuses we show on here, but we can try.
Yeah,
and that's what's lacking at the moment. People aren't trying because the incentives aren't there. There you go, my rant done. Let's have a look at Gil.
Okay, Professor Russ, here we go. Here's the opening.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
It's time with feewing. You know what Nita says about this stuff?
Joke's on you, bitch. I love this shit.
You know it.
No. Come on in, folks. We see you out there. We know you're there. Chat's open. We are live.
Yep.
Please add your comments in the chat if you can. Hit that like button, hit that love button, subscribe to the Indie Comics Network. We just lost somebody. Shame on you. Just chased him off. Just chased him off.
One yep, and he's at the door. He's like, no, I don't have any time for this.
Exactly right.
Listening to these old people. What's going on?
Nobody's got time for this shit. I gotta go. Anyway.
That's impressive. Kicking someone in the mouth and then shooting someone in the head.
At the same time. Yep.
Yeah, that's two things.
After wounding him in the shoulder here.
Yeah. He's already shot two people, or shot a person, kicked someone, and then shot another one.
Today we are looking at a reprint of Gil Kane's Savage. This book came out originally in 1968 and had a cover that looked like this. With Lee Marvin.
Oh, that is Lee Marvin, isn't it?
As Savage. I'm not sure who painted that cover, if Gil did or not, but they put it was probably wasn't Gil, because they put a picture of one of Gil Kane's illustrations there for the cover of the Fantagraphics reprint. Way back when it was 35 cents. Folks, you could buy this off the newsstands for 35 cents. Promising the beginning of a new comics tradition that was a tradition of one issue. That's as far as it went. But back during this period, 68, this is between Gil Kane's run, long, I guess, monumental run on Green Lantern and the Atom for DC, and before he jumped over to Spider-Man and Marvel, started doing all sorts of covers for Marvel. Run on Spider-Man and then Captain Marvel, and little stint on Warlock, and bumming around. It was a great career. It was a nice long career, and Gil is looked at as one of the masters of the medium here.
Yeah, I've got one of his. I've got the Artisan book of him on Spider-Man, and it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Mobius issues.
Speaking about masters,
yeah, the Mobius, yeah.
Randy and I before the show were actually talking about being around, being in the industry and getting to be around like other masters in the industry or people, you know, and it's sometimes it's intimidating. You're just like, whoa.
Well, listening to Gary yesterday was great when he was talking about, you know,
Jesus,
the people that he was learning from.
Yeah, yep.
The guy that I work with a lot, Tim Quinn, who used to edit a lot for Marvel.
Marvel UK. Right?
Marvel UK. He did some in Marvel US, but mostly Marvel UK. And he tells the story of sitting down in the office and having Sal Buscema come in and draw him a cover in 15 minutes.
Really?
And go, is that okay? And he go, yeah, that's great. So it's just, listening to the people that were there with these giants. I know what you mean about it being intimidating, because it's like it's brushing with greatness, isn't it? And,
you're talking Sal or
all
John?
Of them. It was Sal. It was Sal that Tim bumped into.
I could see Sal knocking out a cover in 15 minutes. Just what do you? Give me a second. Give me the board. Give me a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Does that look all right?
Assad is in the comments. Hi there. How you doing?
Yeah.
And he was saying it took him the longest time to get Gil's work. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that. Because it was very. He was all about the simplicity and the speed of it, wasn't he? And other artists at the time weren't in the same frame. So for instance, when you look at his work in Savage Sword of Conan, and then the next month you'll get Ernie Chan, or the previous month you'll have had
Alcala,
and it's a completely different approach, but it's still absolutely magic. It's still fantastic stuff. And Gil Kane was far more of an effect on me, much like earlier aspect like Wally Wood and Ditko. I didn't realize were affecting me. It's only when other people talk to you about your work that you kind of pick things, because obviously my favorite is John Buscema. But I can pick out other artists like Stalin and what have you that had a massive effect on me, Steranko as well. But I don't necessarily see their work in my work, when other people go, oh no, I see a little bit of that there, or I see a little bit of that artist there. And it's about standing on the shoulders of those giants, isn't it? Yeah. And having them affect you. But it's Gil Kane was great.
Yeah. Don't worry, Assad. There's a lot of artists I feel the exact same way about. You go back and you look at now, and I didn't care for Kirby back during the 70s when he was doing every cover on Earth, and it's like, oh, another one of this guy was blocky Kirby
Robbins as well.
especially Robbins. Frank
Yeah.
Robbins was a
Yeah.
hard to understand. Why is this guy's leg bent up next to his shoulder for? You know, just this guy's foot's next to his shoulder.
Yeah.
It's crazy. What's going on with this guy? You know,
And
but
now, but both Robbins and Kirby, you kind of look at them
solid
in awe.
charm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Kane's the same way. There's a lot of those guys back then. Like I tell everybody, I think with more of an artistic eye and a little bit of wisdom and intelligence, everybody's really good except Vince Coletta. So.
Poor old Vince.
May he get the reputation he deserves. So, anyway. Great romance comics, let's put it that way. To talk positively about somebody that I can't say nothing. I cry when I look at his inking over top of Kirby. I literally do. I just shake my head and go, why did they allow that travesty to happen? Everybody's got their favorites and their gets and the people that they wrap their head around later. And Gil was an influence on so many people and still continues to be an influence today. A lot of the compositions that you'll see, a lot of the anatomy is very Gil Kane, and you'll always see little hints of it here and there by the better sequential artists that are working today. In fact, this is probably the back of Gil's head right there. He probably drew himself in there. Very tall guy, very much a opinionated bastard, like a lot of these guys were back during the day. Not afraid to tell you that your art sucked. He had his favorites too, and people that he got or didn't get. So, Gil Kane Savage. Folks. This is a Fantagraphics edition. I'm surprised they didn't put this out in a trade paperback, but it was probably easier for them to do a saddle stitch comic magazine format of the day. It's a lot easier to sell back then. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another version of this out that's in square bound just because of what it was. Way back when, Gil was looking for work, just like every other artist out there, and he was freelancing to anybody and everybody that he possibly could. And he had a couple of really great outside assignments that actually saw print. Everybody has their missed it by that much is, you know, out there where you do a bunch of test work or you start working on pages and the deal falls through or whatever. But this is one of them that actually saw print. And it's not quite comics. It's not quite novel, but it's more like an illustrated story, as you'll see going in. Mark of Kane here. With the magazine, they put an intro in the front because of what it was. I think Gary Groth wrote it. There's the actual splash page for Savage. Very Eisner influenced.
Yeah.
It's in black and white. A lot of zip screens on this. Very professionally done.
Steranko-ish as well.
Yeah. Well, I think it's Steranko influence on this. I think this come out, if not during or right before Steranko come on the scene.
Right. Okay. So they're both effectively being influenced by Eisner.
Yeah. Well, Steranko was influenced by a lot of the great layout people. He more of the modern art layout stuff, and
but having the words in
visually,
having the name, having the graphics inside the illustration. That's there's only a few people that do that.
But Gil's work, to me, one of the big things are he could take a body and bend it and show it proportionally any way that he wanted to. And a lot of times, especially with Green Lantern, you get these flying scenes from every possible angle. And it's just leaves you in awe a lot of times with his work. Gil went through and inked this as well. So it's drawn and inked by Gil Kane. I'm thinking it was written by, I want to say it was written by, Archie Goodwin. Went through off of Gil's plot. Archie went through and put the wording in. There's another work that we'll look at probably next week that he did in paperback book size called Black Mark, which is a post-apocalyptic barbarian character. He actually did 2 books, and one of them saw print, and the other one, saw print when he did them, and the other one was held back, didn't quite get printed. The book wasn't very successful, but Fantagraphics went through and reprinted it, and I believe Marvel reprinted it also in magazine size format. But it's all great stuff. Some of it's a little tight, very wordy. It's like most 60s, 70s comics were. More of a combination of words and pictures. Nowadays, this would be a lot more decompressed. So you can get 9 panels on a page sometimes.
That's 2 issues.
Yeah.
Wow.
That double page spread there.
That's an entire book by Image right there.
Yeah. You got to get some time for them to be sitting around eating and talking for a while, getting the brief,
talking about their girl problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the time you get to the last panel of that character, you're just been like, I'm tired of.
Yeah, I'm fed up with this book. Whereas this is just like, have it. There you go. It's so James Bond, isn't it?
Very much so.
Mm.
James Bond's spy thriller,
Yeah.
those hard-boiled detective stories that you.
Yeah.
That's why they had the Lee Marvin likeness originally on the cover, because that's the kind of macho action films that.
Who's the other guy? Who was Banachek?
Oh,
he's like Lee Marvin but younger.
yeah. He's the guy who led the A-Team.
Yeah, that's right. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Somebody
I
in the
can't
channel
remember
know.
his
Tell
name.
us.
Yeah,
Tell us in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember the starting sequence because he was rowing down. I think he was in New York or something. He was rowing down the river.
Banachek.
Banachek. Yeah,
That's an old callback. He used to solve unsolvable mysteries, right?
that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Again, we're getting a lot of Zipatone here because he knew he was going to be in black and white. This magazine, this story in particular, was pretty notorious for its violent content.
Right.
So I went through and checked. There's not any nudity in it that I saw, but
Well, that's a blessing.
Been a long time since I sat and read it. Well, it'll keep YouTube off our ass.
God help us if there was any nudity in it, but the violence is just fine.
It's a guy with a little harpoon threw him there. Yeah.
Nothing like disemboweling somebody.
Yeah, I hope there's no nipples in there.
No.
I paid
Yeah.
too, yeah. It's a great frog, man. There are a lot of just real simple line work followed up.
Well done, Assad. George Peppard. There you go.
Jerry, there you are. Thank you.
Well done, mate. Thank you.
You looked it up. Thanks. Villain's got a little bit of a Deathlock look to him.
Oh, yeah. He has, hasn't he? More than a passing resemblance.
What a great hand.
It's like 50% Dr. Doom almost with the face teeth grill thing.
Yeah, the grill on the teeth. Yeah. Don't know quite how that works in reality.
Very roughly. Keeps getting that tinny taste every time he eats anything.
Although he can just eat canned potatoes. He doesn't have to open them. He can just open them with one side of his mouth and then drink it down with the other side.
Yeah, doesn't need a can opener.
It's got like a blender in his mouth.
Yeah. Nice. It opens his mouth. Instead of a tongue, there's a little blender blade.
Get that great shot there on the floor perspective.
This guy's a bit of a neo-Nazi thing going on there. He's putting his arm up in that way.
Yeah.
Although fantastic butt cheeks.
They're obviously being threatened by the bad guy.
Yeah, they look very worried. Yeah,
quite the worry.
He's gonna make us blend our food.
Come here, I'm gonna bite your nails.
Can you imagine being Dr. Doom's assistant?
Yeah. Well, multiple assistants. Probably one dies every day.
Yeah.
John Carr's up early in the house this morning. Thanks
Hey,
for
John.
joining in, John. Good to see you here.
I like that reveal.
Love Gil Kane.
The The way he turns around, he's got the shadow of half of his face, and then it's the full face. That's great.
When you realize the job doesn't pay enough.
Yeah. Oh God, he's quite strong as well, isn't he? Look at him. Oh, they were there to kill him. Oh. Yeah, look at those 4 panels at the top there. Top right on the left-hand page. It's very Steranko.
Yeah. Yep.
Gil Kane isn't ink in this, is he?
Oh yeah,
He is.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, because if you look at some of the flourishes, because I'm used to
Gil Kane, yeah.
I'm used to seeing Gil Kane inked by someone else, and he's putting more in the inks.
Or in later years, he took to some ink brush with laid down a thick line, and he was inking his own stuff through like Sword of the Atom and through the 80s and 90s.
I don't know who did that stuff on the Spider-Man run, inking wise.
I want to say Esposito, but I'm not sure.
Because that looks like classic, lots of thin lines, Gil Kane. And it makes you wonder, it's like somebody's literally following his pencils.
Yeah.
Whereas when he inks his own, he's doing other stuff. He's putting in other flourishes.
I don't know, even here, you get a lot of line work in here.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know, there's just lots of... my impression of Gil Kane is lots of wide lines, as in lots of space between the lines.
Okay.
There's a very graphic way of illustrating, whereas this has got more shade to it.
This is more, it's more Kane to me here.
It's more illustrative than the other stuff. Yeah.
Well, he was probably taking a little bit more time for this too, because this was a chance for him to shine outside of Marvel and DC. So
it's time for him to do something he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Do something he wanted to do.
That and we'll get into next week. We'll get into Black Mark, and you'll see he goes really crazy in that book. There's all sorts of.
Somebody said to me tomorrow, "You could draw Spider-Man for the year." I'm
like,
all right. I'm going to chain you to your desk, and you're going to draw Spider-Man for the next 5 years. Do you think you can manage that?
Great shot here, back of the head. Hands. A lot of this you might not be able to see on the camera, but it's got some phenomenal detail there. Not everybody can grab those hands, and
although that hand's a little bit on the large side.
Yeah, it is. But
what's he got in there? Duotone or just is it Letrotone or something?
Oh, this is all Zipatone, Letrotone sheets, It's all dot patterns. To drop back and pull forward, or he probably spent a good week doing nothing but throwing zip on this stuff.
Yeah, but he's got like 3 tones, isn't he, going on there?
Yeah.
And he's mixing and matching them. That's fabulous.
He knows he's in black and white, so he's knocking it around, a little.
But that would all be for the sake of reproduction.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be easier with a brush to just whip over with a wash, wouldn't it? But that's not as easy to reproduce.
I wouldn't think so, because once you master those Zipatone screens, you can whip through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was always
lay it down, stick it in, as long as you know how powerful your ink is on the board. Because the big problem with the Zipatone screens is you lay it down, then cut out the stuff you don't need and pull that up.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll pull the ink up with it if you're not careful.
Yeah, I used to hate putting that stuff down on a board. It's like, is it Remitter over Gil Kane on Spider-Man?
That's possible, yes.
Yeah. I'll just have a quick look.
Maybe not on all of it. It was probably a who's available that month to take on, Gil's pencil work. I can dig it up here. I've got the essentials that cover that period. There was probably a bunch of different people. I was pretty sure there wasn't any Vince Coletta on there though. Anyway, because I don't remember any of that work really sucking on the ink. He was too busy messing Thor up at that point.
That is bash
Yeah,
the dude.
Remitter.
But bashing too much Coletta bashing. Okay, I'll be quiet.
No, just saying they're bashing the dude. And I was talking about the comic, how they just bashed him in the back of the head.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
It's another
I
great
think all
shot.
it is.
back
Oh
of the
yeah,
foot. Yeah,
it's great, isn't it? I think all it is my remembering is because Remitter was inking over the top of Gil,
oh yeah.
and obviously Remitter's got a very recognizable inking style.
The big thing I remember from that run is that Gil had a very great way of showing Spider-Man in the face. He had a great way of drawing his face. It's very memorable to me. I don't know if it's because there was wide spaces or just the way he drew it was just that's Spider-Man to me.
Yeah, a lot of this is the stuff that I was reading at the time. So this would have been the reprinted stuff I was picking up, but also original stuff as well, like imported mags.
That's about Marvel Tales reprint run for me.
Mm.
On that. My the first Spider-Man I remember really reading was Death of Gwen Stacy.
Right.
And then I just kind of went from there forward and backwards, and anything you get your hands on. Dug up all those great old Marvel Tales issues. And
I was aware of Spider-Man, and I must have picked something up prior to it.
yeah,
But it wasn't until the end of the Captain Britain run where it combined with Spider-Man comic in the UK that I started reading Spider-Man, and then from then on, once they'd phased Captain Britain out, that I continued picking up the Spider-Man comic. So
yeah. These two panels especially are Gil Kane to me.
oh yeah,
Just the face.
I mean that
and,
foot.
and taking that body and just
Yeah.
bending it and pushing it and being able to do anything that you wanted with it. See, there's a lot of Dave Cockrum in this too. Here's a very classic sequence where this guy takes
broken some teeth,
shoves it into his mouth.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yeah. I mean, that's ouch before he pulls the trigger.
Yeah. It's just
his name is Savage after all.
Yeah.
Exactly. He wiggles around a little bit to get what he needs.
Oh, who hasn't had a nightmare where you lost your teeth or?
Yeah.
I've never had a nightmare I've lost my teeth.
No.
I've had a couple of dreams where I've been looking for them.
There you go.
There's apparently something in that. There's something Freudian in that.
Freudian.
But, I haven't had a dream about not having teeth for years. I suppose I must be in control of my life. I think that's what it means. Supposed to
found them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You found your teeth?
Yeah. Yeah, they were in a glass next to my bed.
I very rarely remember my dreams, but I do remember one where I was on a world where, in another dimension, where I was married to Haley Atwell. That was good.
That sounds like a fine dream.
Yeah, it's a very fine dream. Not a nightmare at all. Anyway, zip screens working here.
He's a mean-looking character, isn't he, eh? Look at that.
He's not happy.
He's not.
He's been having bad dreams, too.
It's not Haley Atwell in his dreams.
He's just crumbly. Yep. Great. Quick buildings.
Let's have some windows in there that make no sense whatsoever.
Yep. In a big conference room, no detail needed. Just lay down a zip screen and get on with it. He's answering to his bosses, apparently.
Great war scene. Love it.
Yeah, look at that.
It's fantastic. And it's such a narrow strip, too, and get all that information in there.
I would think he's working at least 2 up here just because of the line width and the detail that he's getting.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal. Look at that. It's a great war face. Show me your war face. He's the cool hero dude, too, because he's smoking. It's a mysterious bureau of bosses. He's the muscle guy. A lot of space open here for dialogue because Gil would do the artwork first and leave the balloons open for Archie to fill.
And boy, did he fill them.
He filled them. Archie was a great writer, though.
I unfortunately can't make out much of the letters. I have this on a secondary screen right now.
Well, it's not just that, but the font size on this is really small.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I can see. Well, now
Got to get up on it to actually read it. I have to have a magnifying glass to read this, yeah. But that's my eyes. So.
Look at that face in the bottom left, first page.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
He looks
awesome.
like his name might be Tony or Manny.
Yeah.
Manny.
Yeah.
I could see it. Hey, dude, don't point that at me. Holy crap.
He just
Hey.
had his coffee. And he's like, I'm on the bus. Like, what the hell? Or is he in a car?
He's
No,
in a
it looks
car.
like he's near a bus, though.
Mhm. Small time crook.
Tell you what he says here. I have to pull out my magnifying glass. He says, you don't ease in behind someone like Savage. He'd have us spotted before we're within 3 car lengths. I know him. Relax, kid. We'll get our chance soon enough. It's telling him to chill. It's all tough dialogue, roughneck stuff. He's your typical macho male of the time. Your Bruce Willis type.
He gets shot and shakes it off.
Yeah.
It's just a flesh wound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a little odd perspective working here. The hand of the gun with the shot is a little off. It doesn't matter. Point gets the point across.
Yeah.
There he is again. It looks like the gun's going one way and the shot's going at a different angle from the barrel. Nice shot through the window. It's great illustrative work there. That's another nice shot. It's about to get smacked in the back of the head. Didn't see him coming. And here we have Carol Ferris, just thrown in for fun. Green Lantern. No, actually part of the story. I always tell a good artist, especially a sequential artist, when they can draw hot women.
Well, look at that apartment too, or building, or house, or what have you.
Mm-hmm. Out on the terrace here.
You'd have
Great
to have a
angle.
lot.
He's just enjoying a smoke. Gets a gun to the back of the head.
Love that angle and the way that he's bringing the cigarette out to his mouth and the wind. And it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. With the building back there. But there's still him climbing up the side of the building there. Jared Leto just did that in New York City yesterday. Climbed up the side of a building.
Who?
Jared Leto, the actor.
Oh, right. It hasn't got any parts then.
Apparently a publicity stunt for his latest My
Oh,
Chemical
yeah.
Romance album.
Oh, right.
So, yeah. He got a permit. Got a permit to do it. They let him do it.
Oh,
It's like,
got a
you want to
permit.
kill yourself? Okay, as long as you know. Relieve us of any responsibility. Here you go.
Here's the $10 million insurance thing. Okay, sign that. Here's your waiver, and off you go. Oh, he's a pancake. Oops.
No loss. Oh, that's harsh, but sorry.
He's jumping at her to jump her. Yeah. Great comic book pose there. Lunge.
Lunge.
Just commenting, trying to comment on his apartment, how much that would cost, or his building or house or whatever at the time. He's a very well-to-do man.
Old illustrator trick. When in doubt, check it out. There on the floor.
Lovely hair on that girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Always good. And she's pretty even when she's crying.
That's when you're in trouble, lads.
Yeah. Always a static camera, though. Always moving. Not afraid to juggle it around a little bit. You don't get very many straight-on shots like this. Everything's always moving. Very static. Don't all speak at once.
Just, yeah, sorry.
It's all right.
Smacking in the nose with a gun, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Wow.
art
That's
sword.
That's some great action there. I like that. That's almost Kingpin, that bloke.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost.
Yeah, he's a big
pat-
guy.
It's patterned after Sydney Greenstreet anyway.
It gives him a monkey fist right to the, I guess, the sternum there. And then
Where?
the double right beside the
Right in the solar
bottom.
plexus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get him where it hurts. Wham. Yeah, right in the stomach.
We get that that nexus of nerves just underneath the rib cage there.
The most hurtful, the slap to the back of the head. Wham.
Yeah, of course. Well, actually, if you maybe not quite there, but certainly
The
on the
ear.
side of the neck.
Yeah.
If you hit hard enough, you can cause a momentary convulsion.
Juggle that brain around a little bit in the skull.
It's the blood. It's the blood flow.
Yeah.
If you hit hard enough, if you hit in the right place on the jugular, it's a stunner.
It's like a Vulcan nerve pinch.
Yeah.
You can also hit the ear, which causes their eyes to close. Watch them wince.
Opening the elevator there. Ready to go. Empty. Little lines of surprise when we can't see their face.
The hair is great.
Yeah. It's more determined and angry as we go along. That it just looks meaner. See Jack talking
Rah,
about.
rah, rah. His eyes are getting blacker and blacker, aren't they?
Yeah. He's talking to the council there again.
Oh, she's dead.
A little ticked at him. Oh, is she? Yeah, she's dead.
It's a
Oh,
bit of a
that's why he's angry.
yeah. That's a
Piss him
bit of a James Bond on Her Majesty's Secret Service moment.
Goes in tearing through the office, knocks papers on the floor, bangs his way into the main council room where they're all, they all just happen to be sitting there.
Well, where else they got to be?
Yeah. So he yells at them, they yell back at him, and he starts smoking.
As you do. Where's my smokes?
A little bit of President Johnson working there. He's probably president at the time of this. More heated discussion. Obviously, he says the wrong thing because he gets lunged at here. Look at that. I love the paper. Nice touch. Show action.
Does he become the crime lord after that?
Pulling him off of him. He's probably going to be taken to be killed.
Oh,
Look at the expression on that guy's face. He's got a crazy maniac killer look to him. Yeah, the boss said to take you out back and, take you to the site and do you in.
Gonna be sleeping with the fishes.
Leave you in the dump. Yeah. He's obviously pissed over his loss of his girlfriend. There's some detail. Look at that. Crazy time. It's definitely Johnson, Lyndon Baines Johnson. Before everybody's time, but first, here's a face into a steering wheel.
Very violent individual.
He has
Sign of the
issues.
times.
Yeah.
Sign of the times, yeah.
Yeah, is that
a little bit pent up rage working.
Is that the president there?
Yeah.
After Kennedy.
Yeah. Johnson.
Yeah. Johnson, that's it.
Mm-hmm. One termer. He knew better.
Yeah.
Better than to go for two.
He was he was never the choice anyway, was he?
Well, he got in during the Kennedy assassination, but I think he got elected in after that.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh, right. He didn't just finish the term.
He finished the term, did another 4 years. Yeah.
Did he? Oh, right. I thought he
Sure
just
he
finished
did.
the term.
Oh. No, I think the only president of my lifetime, at least, that did that was Ford. After Nixon left, Ford finished off his term and then tried to get reelected and couldn't. Genuine Dave. Dave's in the house.
Hey,
You
Dave.
doing all right? Says hello to everybody. Just looking over Gil Kane Savage here. It's the United Nations building. Big for the day. Some more great detail here. It's crazy good stuff. That's not Johnson at all.
It's the
It's the Deathlock bad guy. Yeah.
Oh, no. We're all in trouble now.
Look, his face is plastic. More great stuff. Look at that superhero dynamics there.
He's just taking him out the window.
Yeah. Sure is. Look at all that glass. It's like Sin City.
Hmm.
Frank Miller. No reflection, no other detail other than the open glass here. The rest of the detail is back here. That must have taken a little while to zip this. There's the brickwork back here. It's got a light zip screen on it. That probably took a couple hours just on that panel, depending upon how fast you are with the Zipatone.
One thing I'm very envious of is how quickly, as a 2D artist, you can knock out the lines for like a crack in the wall, right? And like brickwork and stuff. I'm actually working on brickwork right now. I'm like doing a 3D thing, and I'd have to like make like 3 different 3D models to make one crack, because I have to like shape each part of the stone. It's retarded. Sorry.
Yeah, we're just drawing a couple of lines.
Yeah. Get a little ink. It's an afterthought with a pen. Beep, beep, beep. Done.
Looking at a wall, and you just easily knock it out with a rendering, and I'm just like do.
This gray tone here is all line work. Right there. This must have been a choice. I don't think that's a zip screen. I'm going to take a closer look at it here, so excuse me while things get a little fuzzy. Yeah, that's uneven. So yeah, it looks like all done by hand. Sat there for a little while with a ruler and a rapidograph, probably straight in.
There's something to be said about the tedium of art sometimes, and how like you get like a tone, it's like meditative.
Your microphone's kind of fading away here.
So I was saying there's something to be said about the tedium of art, and how like you can get into like a meditative state while doing it. You're just in the zone, and repetitive action.
Yep.
Very calming and relaxing.
Mm-hmm. What I'm surprised at is he went so dark here on these zip screens, because you have to know how that's going to look like once it's reproduced in order to go quite that dark. Because any darker, if he had gone even another 10% darker, that would have turned out solid black on the printing. So I've had that happen a few times here as well. This is almost black there, and that's a darker screen than this is. Yeah, a lot of electroset or Zipatone work on this. And here it does go black. It's a graduated tone.
Is that
here.
one tone, or is that one over the other, one over another? Is that masked?
Here?
Yeah, is it just
the
one
graduated?
tone?
No, that's one screen.
One screen.
Yep. You could get all sorts of weird patterns back then for Zipatone. Dots and lines and anything that graduated tones like this, and that makes it look like a wash look almost. Anything like that. All sorts of different effects. That's part of the fun of looking through the early to late 70s, early 80s black and white alternative comics, is you get these guys out there playing around with Zipatone, getting all sorts of weird patterns, some real psychedelic stuff. It's a zip screen.
Happy accidents.
Yeah. Well, some of it was intentional. You knew from the way the dot pattern sits, you could sit there and lay down one set of dots, and then you take the same screen and alter it slightly, and you end up with this really bizarre moire pattern. Is what they call it. get the same problem when you try to screen print in process color. If you're not careful, you have to know how the colors lay down and how the dot pattern in the screen works, or else you end up with these flaky, jiggly patterns in it. Nowadays, it's all just done off a computer. They have these printers that you just set a shirt on it and slide it in, and it'll run off like an inkjet printer and do all of that work for you. So you get nice solid colors. Back then, when you were screening by hand or doing an automatic screener and you were using CMYK, you had to, on silkscreen, you had to know how the dots fell, or else you'd end up with some really bizarre pattern. Some hand grabbing the gun there. Another great riot shot here. Look at that. Stuff going, a lot of stuff happening in that panel. It's like people are falling. Parachuting in. More war. Looks like they're working on the real Johnson there. You all right, Russ? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Sorry, had to step out.
Not a problem.
There's a massive fight going on down there.
It is. A lot of detail, a lot of work. That's why they broke it up here.
He's got his up the nose shot, though.
Yeah. Dave Cockrum got really good at that shot as well. Took it right from Gil Kane.
There's no background in some of those, just big open field, I guess.
Here, yeah.
You don't always need a background.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Sometimes it just got in the way.
Yep.
Once you've that's part of it as well. It's all about the pace of the story, connected to the layout, connected to progression, connected to how much you want to put down on the page, and atmosphere. You just don't always need to put a background in. Once you've set the scene, you can put the characters into panels that are about the emotion or about the specific aspect of the character rather than where they are or what they're doing, because you've already set the scene and the reader's already invested in that.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes you're pressing deadline, just want to get it the hell over with.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't have the time to draw a background, so you just put some cross hatching in and just run away.
Zip screen. Done. All right. Yeah. More greatness here. Good one. A great panel silhouette. Look at my ass.
That's a classic pose.
Oh, that's not his ass. That's his chest here. He's being knocked over.
That's a classic look from Gil Kane.
That's classic Gil Kane. Yeah. Smacked forward. Took a minute for me to, as I was looking at that, took me a minute to grasp what it was. There we are. Yep, just a smack back here.
You got the bat cyborg repellent.
Yeah. Smoking. It's debris. Until we're hitting the climax of the story as the laboratory starts falling down around their ears.
Yeah, it's James Bond trope.
Yeah, very much so.
All you need is the CIA to run in there.
So he smacks him with some acid on the good side of his face.
Yeah. He's like, oh no, not the face, not the face.
Yeah, not the face. Not the good side of the face. Holy
Not the
crap.
face, not the face is all I've got left. I'm too young to die.
There we are. Full page splash here. The villain is defeated, or just about. Gets up again. They both get knocked around a little bit. Great sequence there. Smack, smack. Just the line variants here, dropping stuff back and using solids for the smoke to pull it out. A little bit more shading than usual here on the body because he's got more time because it's such a large illustration. Wood grain, even the rocks down here, just amazing. Great stuff.
It would suck to have to fight somebody with a robot face.
Yeah.
Especially if they're like super strong as this.
Yeah. Be
You get tired after like a little while.
Yeah.
Just feel like,
in a normal fight, you get tired, let alone fighting a bloody
Robot.
cyborg.
Yeah, cyborg.
because this looks longer than about 30 seconds. If you
Yeah, they've been going at it for a while. Yeah.
Would you like to see more further adventures of Savage? As far as I know, they never did any more than this. Pulled from the wreckage. You've survived, but barely.
Thanks for telling us that.
Yeah. Screw the stretcher. We'll just carry you out.
Yeah. It's at least he's getting a good kick in though. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's not just wandering in there and super heroically or super spy like just taking him out.
Yeah.
The guy's giving him a thoroughly good beating, and he's just managed to get out by his wits because he's got him to punch the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he save someone on his way out as well then?
I think he pulled the guy out.
Yeah. There you go. Heroic to the end.
Yeah.
He's finally defeated the robot dude.
Well,
yeah.
Maybe.
There's more to this. There's more to this story that never got created. Because if you
probably
look
got
at
away.
You look at the hints in the panel down at the bottom right there, on the last panel, where it said, "Would you like to see further adventures?" On the left there, his face is still in the background.
Yeah.
So no, in the big panel. So maybe he got away.
Maybe he got away.
Oh, he got away.
Of course.
If not, they jailed him for him to get out later.
So he gets away, and he makes his ex-girlfriend a cyborg, brings her back to life.
There you go.
Oh, the story we missed out on.
The story continues.
She's the villain next time around.
Yeah.
Cyborg.
But it's not really her. Yeah. The bad guy has transfused his personality into her body.
Oh, Jesus.
Self-portrait here, Gil Kane.
It's awesome. It's got loafers on.
Yeah. Kane on Savage. Yeah, some of these artists get reputations for their personalities, and Gil definitely had a rep, not quite as bad as Alex Toth, but Alex had enough sense to sequester himself away, and if he gave his opinion, he'd write it and send it to you in a letter, or more than talk to you. But
Hmm.
Gil was pretty vocal. He'd do a lot of shows, and he'd be pretty opinionated. I don't ever remember seeing him at a show, but would have loved to have met him. Some more of his work. Some of those classic Green Lanterns. It's a page out of Black Mark here that Neil Adams did some inking on.
Like the non-metallic metal kind of look thing going on the
Yeah.
helmet.
Yeah, you can see him in there, can't you? Especially that bottom right panel.
Mhm.
The guy on the right hand side there with the girl. That
So,
panel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously Adams inking that.
Mm.
Yeah, he had some help with the continuity studios there on the Black Mark book just to get it done and get it out. And I think he had, I think it was Neil Adams come in for a week on his Starhawk strip too, and did work on it. Or at least did some inking work on it. Giordano was in that period as well. Some more of his Green Lantern work. It's the Atom here. It's great stuff. Great art. The stories were a little formulaic here at times, but fantastic art. There's a great book out on you can get it on Amazon. I just got it a couple months ago. That's one long interview with Gil Kane, talking about his work and his process and how he feels about the industry. And it's a really good interview. And some of his
Hey, good
pencil
look at.
work. I believe that's a Starhawk strip there.
That's really cool. I like seeing that kind of stuff in like when I'm in different people's like books and publications and things. The like how they how they draw heads and things like that, and how they construct the body, and just like sketch practice stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of
HR.
like
HR's in the house, says hello. Gil is up there with the best ones, but always on the edge, so it feels. Okay.
what I like about Randy left us.
He just turned his mic off. I think his tumble dryer's on.
Say what? Yeah, nobody wants to hear me cough. So, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Micronauts, I believe.
Yeah, Micronauts. Yeah, that was another thing I got into when I was a kid as well. Micronauts.
Mm.
I actually bought the toys before they started making a comic out of it. And then actually having that comic after I'd been given the toys as a gift is like, oh, this is amazing.
Should dig up the first 3 or 4 issues that Michael Golden did and take a look at them. Some comics by night.
I remember reproducing a page of Micronauts with a pencil and a A4 page.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a little bit bigger than the actual comic itself.
Yeah.
And I'd copied it to death. I reproduced it as best I could when I was that old. And I remember doing it with a 2B pencil as well, because everything I filled in was really dark. There was they'd laid down some really solid inks on some of those pages.
Mm-hmm. Crazy good stuff.
Mm.
Micronauts was really hot there for about a half a year.
Yeah, it was the big thing.
Incredibly big. Michael Golden on that was just amazing. You need to, like I said, dig those up and take a look at them. I don't think they've been reprinted much, if at all.
No, I'd definitely pick up one of those if I could. I got a pocketbook one, but I think it was a sequel rather than from the actual run.
That and not Avengers Annual 10 that Golden did. Just classic stuff. Love and
Somebody's
Rockets,
trying-
folks.
Yeah.
There. Love and Rockets ad in the back.
Yeah.
Another great classic strip.
Is
Always
that Bolland?
looking
Or
at-
is that someone trying to be Bolland?
It's Hernandez brothers,
Yeah.
Gilbert and
Yeah.
Jamie.
Okay.
68 pages of madness for only $2.95.
Madness.
Guess that's
That's,
one of those strips that nobody pays any attention to anymore. There's
Mm.
could do months on that kind of stuff. The stuff nobody mentions, Yahoo Serious and Reed Fleming, the world toughest milkman, and Flaming Carrot. You don't hear much
Yeah.
about anymore. That whole era of independent comics are just amazing and very overlooked.
Well, it's coming back.
That's a lot of different hairstyles in one photo.
It is. You've
It
got
was
to
a-
admire their ability to put hairstyles down.
It was a very groundbreaking book because the main characters on this were women, and it really made Fantagraphics for a while. I mean, it was the top book at Fantagraphics for quite a while. Anything that they did ended up making a mark, you know. Cool stuff, folks. That you might not have seen. We'll see it in future issues of Comics by Night. We were looking at Gil Kane Savage.
Very nice.
Went through it a little quick, but it was a lot of words.
It was a lot of words. We don't read words. We just look
Yeah,
at the
we don't.
pictures.
We just look at the pictures. That's it exactly. Yep.
It's not that kind of show. We just look at the pictures.
We're just here to marvel at the great sequential artists, folks. There's so much great stuff out there. You just have to open yourself up to it. So if the current comic scene, especially the corporate comic scene, has you down, and you always have those independents and those alternatives to take a look at, and all of this old stuff that or older material that's just classic, just fun to read. You can still get yourself lost in this, you know, even with all the verbiage in it. It's Archie Goodwin. You can't go wrong with Archie Goodwin.
Oh God, no.
One of the best writers in comics. Right
It's-
up there with Denny O'Neil, I would
Yeah.
say. You know,
It's
as far as
definitely
writing
worth. I mean, anybody who's been following us at all or watching these shows over the last, was it more than a year now? We've been doing them.
yeah.
It does make a difference if you go and absorb some of this, because it's made a difference to my artwork. It's made a difference to the way that I approach my inks in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely, you should research the people, research the people that have come before you, who have shown they know exactly what they're doing.
These guys all got work for a reason,
Yeah.
and they were real popular in their time, you know, and just to figure that out and the dynamics that they used, and just you could really apply that to your work very easily. This Sunday, we'll be going over on Sunday Funnies. We'll be looking at Gil Kane's Starhawks book, complete series. It's a comic strip he ran for a few years, written by Ron Goulart and Archie Goodwin. A lot less words, a lot more pictures.
Look at that. That's great.
Really great stuff. This reproduction by Hermes Press did an incredibly good job. Very nice paper.
That's lovely.
Great cover stock. Not in color though, so you're not.
So
gonna
who's
have the
inking
graded
that?
campaign. He's
Because
doing
that
it.
kind of reminds me more of Gil.
Yeah, he's doing it.
He's doing his own.
Yeah.
But it's
For the most part, I
like-
think he does all of this work himself. There's a
Right.
lot of pencil work we'll look at, and the
yeah.
comic strip was really printed 2-up.
Yeah. It's a lot
you know.
more graphic,
Yeah.
the way that he's approached the inking.
Mhm.
It's a lot more graphic.
We'll save that for Sunday, though.
It's nice because you when you see like someone like Gil Kane do not only this, like, I mean, this is gorgeous stuff, graphic stuff like this, and then the stuff that we just looked at in Savage, which was more, there was more feathering and more shading. In this, there's a lot more spot blacking. It's a lot more graphic, simpler line work.
Also, they shrunk down to this size.
Yeah, I mean,
paper,
when you take it up to the same size, you'd see that there wasn't as much much fine line stuff going on.
I'll have to rearrange the camera too, so that we can take a much closer look at this material.
But for him to be able to, mix the way that he applies himself, that's great.
Yeah, I forgot that they printed these 4 on a page in order to get the entire run in a book. So
yeah.
Well,
were they a newspaper strip or something?
Yes, it was a newspaper strip.
Right.
It was one of the last American adventure strips brought out in the late 70s to compete against Star Wars. So,
right, because it looks very Flash Gordon-esque, doesn't it?
Really, it's Space Rangers.
Yeah.
Type stories. That's what it was. Goulart had Kane and Goulart together had the basic idea, and then Goulart left the strip after a while, and Goodwin came in and filled in afterwards. One of the last original American adventure strips.
Sad that jetpacks kind of went out of style.
Pardon?
It's sad that jetpacks have kind of gone out of style.
Yeah.
We never got any. I was 1999. We've gone past 2001. Where is my jetpack?
Exactly.
Yep.
Why are we not living on the moon? Where's my jetpack? Where's the flying cars? What's going on?
Then probably next Friday, we'll take a look at Black Mark.
We've got HR saying he'd like to see some Sal Buscema.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if we can get some.
Each fan of Sal Buscema. Do you have something from him you could show? I sure do. Yep. I've got a whole, got the essentials on the Defenders run. That's my favorite.
I was about to say Defenders work.
Stuff. Yeah.
There we go.
That's classic
great Hulks,
Sal. Yeah.
Great Hulks, great Doctor Strange, great Submariner during that time.
Very underrated Sal.
That whole series again is very underrated. The whole Defenders run, the first 50 of them are just phenomenal. Great stuff.
Definitely a reminder, like a nostalgic aspect to that. I love that all that stuff was like being pumped out when I was a kid.
It's very classic superhero stuff.
Yeah.
Very almost it's sometimes very formulaic, but still incredibly well done. And when Gerber gets on that strip on the Defenders, it just goes in so many different directions, and most of them are way off in left field. just crazy stuff. It's an elf with a gun type material.
An elf with a gun.
It's one of my favorite subplots in comics. And Sel did the artwork for all of those. Every time Gerber would take a page out of every story that he did, whether it was a 1-issue story or a 2 or 3 issue story, somewhere in that story, there'd be an incident that took place. He'd cut the camera away for a page. And the first one took place in a trailer park, and some guys playing on a guitar and singing some John Denver tune. And there's his girlfriend's there complaining to him, and there's a ring at the door, and he answers the door. The girl asks, "Who is it?" And he goes, "It's an elf with a gun."
With a gun.
And then there's last panel is blam, Then the next story, he cuts the camera to the Grand Canyon. There's a couple guys riding on horses, and they come up to a Native American in full headdress, crouched in like a Buddha yoga position, cross-legged, sitting on a blanket. And they pick on him for a little bit, and then the Indian's head pops off, and they go, "Good Lord, it's an elf with a gun."
Blam.
Blam. Just great stuff. Next one is the Serpent Society story, which was an anti-prejudiced theme to it. There's a protest going on. A girl goes into the ladies' room, and goes and opens the stall door, and there's an elf with a gun.
With a gun.
Blam. Just great stuff. And then Gerber leaves the book, and they don't follow up on it for like 50 or so issues until they have to make something up, because everybody was asking, what about that elf with a gun?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Black Mark, some more great Gil Kane. Drawn and done. We'll take a look at that next week, folks. Incredible, incredible artwork. Not quite as jammed as the Savage book. A little bit more open, a little bit more able to breathe. But some great, great stuff overall. Just phenomenal looking material. We'll take a look at that next week. Other than that, we want to thank you so much for stopping by, letting us show you the Savage. We're a little light today, but that's all right. We don't have to go a full 2 hours. We can go an hour and a half. If you ever see this, if you're lucky enough to catch it at a show in somebody's magazine boxes, definitely pick it up. It's worth your investment. If you see the original, even more worth the investment. I haven't seen one of those around in, I would say, probably good decades or so.
It's $2.50, or is that 25? That's $2.50, isn't it?
$2.50, yeah.
That's quite expensive for the time, but I suppose it was quite a big book. So,
well, the original was only 35 cents.
oh right, okay.
You
Oh
bought
wow,
it
no,
back
that's
in,
cheap.
that was like 68.
Yeah,
For that?
$2.50 is mega cheap then, yeah.
I
So,
think Playboy was that much back then.
and that had great stories in it.
Yeah, phenomenal story. This is this particular one is a 1982 reprint. This is
Right.
1968 when it originally came out.
Yeah, 82. It sounds about right.
Again,
$2.50. Yeah.
can't recommend it enough, especially if you're a fan of Gil Kane's superhero work. This is definitely worth your time. So it's as is Black Mark and Starhawk. Starhawks gets reprinted every few years because it's such a great, great strip. Just old-fashioned space opera done by Gil Kane. Just phenomenal stuff. Black Mark, I don't think we've Fantagraphics did a phenomenal reprinting of it and ran both of the actual stories. When that came out, I bought a couple copies of that I had 3 at one time, but I ended up loaning one out to somebody and I never got it back. But also phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that next week. So,
Okay.
we got a little Shadow Kingdom working.
Yeah. Yeah. This
There we are.
going on. Bit of Shadow Kingdom. So, these are the scanned. I've scanned them in and then blacked them up. Got some stuff going on. These aren't the finals. There's a few amends that I've filled in some stuff. But there you go. That's the very latest one. So
Look at that.
it's come out all right. I'm quite pleased with it actually.
Yeah,
It's quite nice, and
great stuff.
this one came out really nice. It's like,
Yes, it did.
Like the lighting came out nice, and the pensiveness of him as well. It's quite pleased with the rendering on the horses and that. But the cover's looking okay, and I'm thinking about another one because we talked about possibly getting it painted. So, and if we go with our idea that I spoke about earlier, then I'd really like to get painted covers. I can show you.
I know a couple guys who could do that too.
Yeah, I can show you. I've got the very latest piece. So the last page of chapter 2 is this. Here you go.
Let me blow that up here. Oh man, just look at that.
Genius.
That's the last page of chapter 2. So, and I took some because I was thinking about doing washes, and actually watching Gary yesterday with using the cross hatching. I went for the cross hatching on the shadow behind him because he's in the window, and I thought I'd do that. So
that's just phenomenal. Look at that.
So it does come out really nice. Quite pleased with that.
Yep.
So that's the first 2 chapters done. The whole of the thing will be finished before Christmas, and then we can get it lettered, and we can decide if we want to color it or not. I'm leaning towards black and white. I'll be honest.
I think we should offer it in black and white.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards it and give people, if it's slightly cheaper, but then if we're offering like a 68 pages of story, so like a 76-ish page book for $20, even in black and white, I think that's a pretty good price actually. And
it'll make a nice package. It's going to run 70 some pages.
Yeah,
we're going to run the prose story in the back.
Exactly. Yeah, so it could be like an 80-page book, and I think even in black and white for $20, I think that's pretty good. I'm leaning towards the black and white. I've enjoyed myself so much with it. There's more incoming. So
you can tell. Yeah, it just looks great. Phenomenal stuff.
You could always color it later if you wanted to.
That's true. Yep.
Could always what?
We could always color it later.
Yeah, it's always a possibility.
Yeah.
We could always send it to Glenn to get him to watercolor it. How good would that look? But
that would be amazing. But I don't know if Glenn would take that on.
No, I don't know that. I couldn't afford him.
Probably couldn't. Oh, you don't know how this is going to go. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so really pleased with all that. So if you want anybody out there who's interested watching us, if you want to find out more about it, sign up to the email list at my website. It's just at russleach.com. There's another one. I'll just show you quickly. There you go.
Hold that up here. Oh, look at that. I haven't seen that I remember. Just gorgeous. Look at that.
It's a really nice scene where we're going through the dark of the
town.
Of the town.
Valusia, yes.
Panels there that I'm quite pleased with.
Oh, look at that. It's amazing.
It's a really nice panel. So there's lots of brickwork going on down there.
And I get to go through and wipe out 3/4 of that.
Wipe out of it with your lettering. Here we go. This is the
with
page.
Howard's prose, at least. So,
that page. So I'm quite pleased with that panel. It's a nice panel there.
Yes, it is. Very sweet. Very amazing.
Look, it's really good. Really, really enjoying myself. Work of my life, without doubt. It's my best work. So
sweet.
Very pleased.
RussLeach.com, folks. Go over there and sign up for it.
Yeah. Russ, so you can sign up for the email list at russleach.com, but also you go other places. There's my Only Death Can Save Us series, which will be finished next year. The first 2 books are available. They're also I believe they've just gone into Diamond as well. And you can pick up all kinds of other stuff like T-shirts and mugs as well. I've got a store over there. And coming soon, will be a link to my eBay store where you can actually buy original artwork from all the stuff that I've had published, including Batman and Doctor Who. There you go.
There you go. Great. Again, folks, want to thank you for stopping by. This has been Comics by Night. We were looking at Gil Kane Savage. Stop by for the Sunday Funnies on Sunday. Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern time, where we'll take a good look at Starhawks by Gil Kane.
Hopefully be a little bit more awake.
Next week, we'll go through Black Mark by Gil Kane as well. Just some great, great material by a great comics sequential master. So, hope you'll stop in then. If you enjoyed this program, make sure you tell your friends. We can use all the eyes on this stuff as we can get. Comics are a great, fantastic visual medium and a phenomenal means of communication. Don't let anybody tell you that comics are dying. The retail shops are going down. Corporate comics are helping that happen at an exponential rate now. And that era of comics is closing. Another great era is opening. And the cool thing with sequential art is that it always will go on as long as folks can put words and pictures together, and they've been doing it since the ancient Egyptians.
Yeah, so that's like I was saying earlier off camera. If manga has taught us nothing, it's taught us that comics are still incredibly popular. Sequential art is a very popular thing, and kids love it. So,
the market is still very viable. It just has to be accessible. That's the big thing. That's something I learned when I was doing my newspaper. It took about a half a year for folks to really catch on to what I was doing, a good 6-7 issues or so. But once that happened,
Yeah.
we just ran gangbusters for almost a decade with that paper, and it was just local, within 25 miles of my house, just my county. We were moving about 10,000 copies alone. So that was a great time and something I'd do again in a heartbeat if I thought I could make a living at it. Yes, it's sad. HR says a reborn, a rebirth. You see, this happens every once in a while. Happened back in the late 40s after the war ended, and then it boomed, and because comics became more adult, and then the new constellations, yeah. Then the Comic Code Authority got enacted, and it contracted again. And you saw the underground movement spring up out of that, and all of this radical stuff that would curl our hair even today, to go out there and see some of the raw Robert Crumb underground material, like even the old Tijuana Bibles were part of that as well. Just hardcore adult-oriented material as a direct backlash against the Comic Code Authority, which eventually eroded down in the 60s because it couldn't keep up with real life, and comics were becoming more realistic as they went along. And then you saw another boom with your in the black and white alternative independent market, Cerebus and ElfQuest and all of those, Love and Rockets, all those great books that few people talk about today. And then Image popped in and killed the independent black and white movement for the most part, and rebirthed those retail shops and brought a new era to superhero comics as the corporate guys tried to catch up. Then things have eroded down again. It runs in waves, in and out. And the retail business is currently going out, but the crowdfund business is raging and coming in strong. Fundmycomic.com. If you get a chance to go over there, take a look. It's not just crowdfunding, isn't just regulated to corporate Kickstarter and corporate Indiegogo sites or corporate GoFundMe. There's a Luke Stone, who does the hybrids for Arrow Comics, as fundmycomic.com. A lot of great campaigns out there. You're going to see Shadow Kingdom offered up there shortly, at the start of next year or so, and a lot more campaigns. He's getting more campaigns all the time. Just the other day, Luke, yesterday, in fact, because this is Friday at Nerd Bacon, Luke told me off camera that he's really astonished at the growth of that site. And I said,
It's amazing.
It's like a snowball running down a hill. I told him,
and for anybody out there who's
going to get
heard
bigger,
ridiculous stories about the site being appropriate only for certain groups or certain people, you just need to ignore that. It's an open freedom of expression site where anybody, as long as they're not breaking the rules, breaking laws, can come and express themselves and get and I can have a platform to fund their books. That's what it's there for. It's as simple as that. It's not associated with anyone in particular. It's there for you to make great comics. So do it
by everybody. And
by
the wider variety possible, the better, because the more diverse it becomes, the more eyes are turned to that site, and the more people realize some great comics coming out now.
This is fantastic stuff. Really
unbelievable stuff. So go out
there, and you've got some names on there as well. I mean,
Pat Broderick's campaign was really big. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Gary Martin's got a phenomenal sketchbook.
Gary Martin's book, I bought it yesterday. Oh God, man, just wonderful.
Richard Bonk, I think.
There's just some great stuff on there. Glenn has had a book on there as well, which I've got it here.
There'll be bigger campaigns coming. The more people that turn their eyes to it. Arrow Comics has a great campaign by Pixel Piper and the great Eric Hodson, AR13L, the little mermaid, which I think is pressing 20 grand. There's Soul Tack up there by Craig White. I'm going to be on Craig White's. I'm going to be on Craig White's podcast late tonight at 9 p.m. So Eastern time. I'll be over on that. Go ahead, Whiskey.
Popped up a graphic for Fund My Comic already, but I'm kind of stuck rendering this thing.
You're
Don't
fine.
worry.
That's
You
all
don't
I
have
got.
to. Yeah,
It's right
there
in
you
your bridge.
working on it. We can build a bridge, buddy. Yep.
It's
There you are.
like it's trying to work out retopologizing a brick that I sculpted, because
Mhm.
when you do it in like low poly, right, it's like a block, like just like a cube or a rectangle or whatever. And when you need to like sculpt on the material, you need to add different divide the mesh into more squares and more squares and more squares. So it's stuck trying to convert something back to its original, or like a lower state, so that it doesn't make the computer blow up.
Yeah.
So I sculpted it and then have to revert it back to
Kaboom.
something manageable. It's still just
Kaboom.
stuck. Yeah. So when we
I'm
do
working. I'm working on a story right now for Comics Unlimited that Glenn's not quite expecting. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know if he's gonna. I told him I'd write an article, and instead I'm doing a comic story. I hope he takes it.
I'm sure he will.
Should be good.
So what
It'll be-
what this bridge is it's basically I'm gonna use it for a layout. I'm gonna get an undershot of the bridge and then have a zombie on like a spear looking up from the bottom of so I get a perspective shot of the bridge as the wagon is going over top of it with the procession of troops and things.
Cool.
Kind of a
Folks, you
fun
can
time.
catch my work over at aerocomics.store, where there's all sorts of Aero Comics available over there. Aerocomics.store. Everything offered at the store is readily available and will hit the mail shortly after you order it. So, and it's all done and ready to be bought. So, aerocomics.store, you can find such work as HeroBot Zero, as Calico, and Paragon said, grasping for his stuff and going over one book poop after the next here. HeroBot Zero, and there's 2 issues of that available, Calico and Paragon, and there's all sorts of great stuff to read, which I hope you will. Whiskey, tell folks how they can find you.
That bridge, I guess.
Look
At
for
the
that
bridge.
bridge, folks. He's at the
That
bridge.
bridge. So no, it's Bandit Ricochet on X, I guess, or whatever they're going to call it this month or this year. And yeah, just you can find that. My name's Whiskey, and I do 3D art and models and things of that nature. I'm just working on some layouts for a comic I got coming up called Driftwood, probably hopefully next year Halloween, but that's a hopeful estimate. And I'm just working my way on these stories. Driftwood's about necromancers, and yeah, so just give me a follow on X, and if you need something made, like an action figure, 3D model, miniatures, drawing aids, you need background information for your comics, you want to do something complicated that maybe you need a reference for, this is exactly what I'm doing now. So yeah, send me a message. See what
There
happens.
we are. Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at russleach.com. As I said earlier, there's an email list there. Please sign up so I can keep you informed. You won't have a rubbish in your email inbox all the time. It's just a newsletter that will start in December, once a month, just to let you know what's going on. Like I say, I've got a new eBay shop going, and that will be launched very soon. So just little bits and pieces and events, and also little bits of news to keep you up to the minute on what books I'm producing, and currently, like we were saying, I'm in the deep in inks for the Shadow Kingdom, but there's lots more to come next year, lots more. So pick all that up at russleach.com.
Pay attention to fundmycomic.com, folks. Go over there and take a look. Some great comics over there. Like I said, aerocomics.store for my stuff and other Aero Comics works. You can get the whole run of hybrids over there as well, by Luke Stone. Go over there and take a look. We should be updating that shortly, because there's a few more items that we now have available, and there's more becoming available all the time. So, and you never know what you're going to find over there. I might pop up a PDF file of an old Aero comic that we'll make available for you too, every once in a while. You never know. So keep checking over there. HR's got to go. Gotta go. See you next time. Take care, Jar. And we gotta go too. It's time for us to hit the trail and get back to work. And see you soon. Remember, folks, talk positively about this business, and about this art form at least. Maybe not the industry, but the art form. We know that the corporate comic scene is not good right now. They're not even mainstream anymore. I don't even use that term. I try not to use that term. Mainstream is manga. Mainstream is Dogman and Scholastic. That type of material is out there in the mainstream and being seen and read by a lot of folks. There's a whole generation of comic readers that are coming up that and they're not going to read right to left forever, forever. They're going to grow up into other forms and other forms of entertainment. We hope that we can catch them doing sequential art. So, because this is such a great form of communication, the best, I think, especially doing individual work like the alternative and the independent market that you see out there. Go visit your local retailer. It's getting close to Christmas time. They have plenty of books, plenty of graphic novels of quality, hopefully still on their shelves, waiting for you to come by and purchase. Go back and take a look at our archive. You can see a lot of stuff. If there's something that you want to see us cover, don't be afraid to let us know. You can always contact me on Facebook. Always leave a comment in the comment section here on YouTube or any of our pages. You'll catch Comics by Night and Sunday Funnies over at Comic Book Black Belt channel on YouTube, on the Randy Zib channel on YouTube, but most especially over at the Indie Comics Network, where you'll find a lot of other programming by a lot of other folks, wide variety of material, and there's so much more coming up to the channel to come. So you'll want to subscribe to that one as well. We're not monetized. We don't do this for money. We do this for love. We do this out of the love of the art form, love of the industry, and the fact that we get to share it with folks like you. And we hope that you tell your friends if you enjoyed this show. There's a lot more to come. There's a lot more in the archives. We've been doing this particular format now for probably over a year, going through such great works as Simonson, Kirby, Wood, Ditko, just all of the classic sequential artists, and there's a lot more to come. So I hope you'll like and subscribe.
Because art is awesome.
Art is awesome. Comics are awesome, as Keanu would say. I don't have that clip. I got rid of that quite a while ago. I do, on the other hand, have this when you talk about the business.
What the fuck is the matter with people in this business?
No. It's not the art form, folks. The business, the industry is not the art form. I have go visit your local retailer and check out those boxes closest to the floor, those old magazine boxes, those old gold and silver age books. There's a lot of great stuff out there just waiting for you to discover it. So we hope that you will. Anyway, folks, till next time, we'll be back Sunday morning at Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. live. Again, we're going to be live. Chat will be open for the foreseeable future. I don't think I have a show at least until February at this point. So a couple of months of fun and live shows. So we'll see you then. Hopefully stop back by, hit that like and love button. We love having you here. We know the majority of our viewers happen after we've already taped the show, and we deeply appreciate you as well. We wouldn't be here if we didn't think we were looked at, and you guys can't enjoy this stuff as much as we do, I don't know what more to say about it other than that.
Buy independent comics, especially
buy alternative and independent comics. Yeah.
especially ours.
Especially ours.
Just go read a comic.
Read a comic. See you soon, folks. Take care. Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Back here, Comics by Night, 5 a.m. Friday morning. More great Gil Kane to be looked at, and a lot of great masters to come. So we'll see you soon. Take care. A couple of bumps and our exit, and we are out of here. Take care, folks.
Yep. See you later.
Now on Sunday mornings, longtime independent comics creator Randy Zimmerman brings to you a podcast that talks about the lighter and more whimsical side of comics, the fun side of comics. That's right. Sunday Funnies is back Sunday morning, 9 a.m. on the Indie Comics Network on YouTube. Check it out. Special guests, great comic talk, good times. See you there.
this is the divine intervention. You could become a spiritual guru on your own, but you just have to tie your shoes, and you just have to know how to eat burritos backwards.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
Apart from Gary views.
Oh, you silly, simple bastard.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration.
Total
Now,
concentration.
Once again, this time, with theory.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
How dare you?
Get off my lawn.
Bye, Jack.
We really shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, Wayne?
No horseshit, Jack.
No horseshit.
Thank you notes. And I was just running a bit behind. So I thought you guys wouldn't mind me running